Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on Archive D-Style. Here I'm being joined by the one, the only Ashy Knuckles. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at DStyleBoxing and follow Ashy Knuckles at A Puncher's Chance. Okay, make sure you go to www.mandatorydefense.com for your latest boxing news. What's going on, Ashy?
What's going on, bro? It's another day, another week.
It is another week.
Fight, you know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely, man. And it's the last show of the year for Tuesdays. Next week is Christmas Eve, and then we got New Year's Eve. But we'll get back and running again in 2020. What you think of the year for boxing, man?
I thought it was a good year of fights. You know what I'm saying? We were kept entertained. You know, of course, the boxing fans in us, or the boxing fans in general, never satisfied. Always want more fights. Always want better fights. Always want more meaningful fights. But at the end of the day, it was a good year for boxing. I think your boy Eddie Hearn kind of put his stamp down in the U.S.
Yeah,
that, he's going to be a major player here. So, shout out. It's not something that I look forward to saying, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like I didn't want him to succeed or anything like that. I just had my doubts about him, and I had my reservations. But at the end of the day, he put energy behind what he was talking about and gave us some fights, man. There's a lot of fights that happened this year that had his name on them. You know what I'm saying? So he was in the mix making shit happen. So, salute to him.
No, absolutely, man. This is going to be, it's been a great year. And of course, you know what I mean? Like, it's overall good year, but yeah, we're going to have our gripes. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. And we want more. Okay, we're bloodthirsty animals. We just want more blood, more tears, more everything. Right.
Yeah.
But and more of the best fighting the best, or at least course of action where everything's moving that direction, man. This has been a great year, and it's been an honor for you to be here every Tuesday with me. So I do appreciate you being here for one last time this year, and we'll be back at it next year, of course. So make sure you guys do visit mandatorydefense.com. Check out the poll. I put a poll up. What is your favorite DStyleBoxing live show? Look at that. It's even across the board. Okay. Mm-hmm. From Weekend Aftermath, A Puncher's Chance, Mexican Latino Wednesday, and Boxing Conversations, even across the board. All right. So thanks to those that voted. It is what it is. And there was a lot of people saying, where's the all the above? Okay, fair enough. All right. But man, a lot to talk about here. Ash, we're going to start off here with a fight out in Australia. It is a rematch. Jeff Horn, who most know him as the man who had a win over Manny Pacquiao, and then he lost the title, the WBO welterweight title, to Crawford. He thoroughly got dominated, right? And then, of course, he moved up in weight, and he was looking to get a title shot with Ryota Murata, okay? But he ran into his Aussie. I don't know what mate.
Zerafa.
Yeah, Zerafa. He ran into Zerafa, who, by the way, is saying he's going to retire Jeff Horn. He said, I'm going to retire this dude.
Right.
That's what he said. Fighting words. He already has a knockout victory, brutal knockout. Is the same thing going to happen? Is this guy just too big for Jeff Horn?
First, let me preface this by saying, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
There you go. Absolutely.
All the Australian boxing fans out there, man.
Yeah.
On a normal instance, on a normal case, I would say he was too big for Jeff Horn, but he may be a little bit bigger. Obviously, he got more reach. He's a little taller, and he's a natural middleweight. I mean, there was times when you look at his history that he tried to shrink down to junior middleweight, but as time goes by, your body is not going to allow you to do to campaign at those lower weights when it becomes a struggle making weight. And it's obvious he's a natural middleweight. Jeff Horn, on the other hand, has spent the bulk of his career at welterweight as a big welterweight, nonetheless, but welterweight. Has basically had one fight at 154 pounds against a badly faded Anthony Mundine, to which he knocked out Mundine, and then went up to middleweight. And that's a fairly quick jump to go 2 divisions against a guy that's saturated at middleweight, who's naturally stronger there, bigger there, and has fought in those weights a little bit longer. And he basically got overpowered. So it wouldn't be beyond the realm of possibilities for him to get overpowered again. It wasn't no fluke win. I mean, he got hurt, and the referee allowed him to continue. And even though he was getting battered, the ref continued to let him fight on and fight on and fight on until we ultimately saw he had absolutely nothing for Michael Zerafa. So this is the rematch. 4 months later? I'm not sure if those 4 months is going to, make him much stronger at the weight. I'm sure it'll help him as he gets more accustomed to fighting at that weight. But like I said before, you up against a guy. This is his division. You know what I'm saying? And Jeff Horn is supposedly the guy in Australia. Both of these guys are homemade. Zerafa, the bulk of his fights have been in Australia. The only times that he's lost is when he's strayed away from home. One being against Peter Quillen and another one against Kell Brook. But on home soil, it looked like he holds all the cards. So I'm a rock with Zerafa, man. I mean, he's got to be flying high, coming off of that victory. And I don't think Jeff Horn is going to take his confidence away at all, and we'll just have to see what happens, man. Jeff Horn, I'm sure he thinks he can win. He beat Pacquiao. So if that's not a confidence boost, I don't know what is. But Pacquiao's not a middleweight. And that was a couple of fights ago. And at the end of the day, the bulk of the boxing public believes he lost that fight. So, maybe he'll do better this time around. I don't foresee it happening for him. But, it's boxing, man. The ring sorts out the facts. We'll see what happens.
The ring absolutely sorts out the facts. Shout out to Blood Corpse Gamer. How's your day, bro? He says, my day is going great. Kenneth Johnson, salute to D-Style and Ashy Knuckles. Joe Lopez 40 ounce says, we want more fights. All right. No, Paul Boxiano says, salute, peeps. Boxing Talk Plus says, salute to D-Style in chat. And he also says, salute to Ashy Knuckles. All right, what's going on, guys? Make sure you throw a jab at the like button as you come in. If you're listening on archive, make sure you take a moment and press that like button. Make sure that like button does turn blue. These are the predictions from NBT, our residential dude runs Twitter now, apparently, okay?
Yeah.
Everyone retweets NBT. It's just crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Executives and shit. I'm like, what's going on over here? Right? But NBT Boxing out of Australia. If anybody's an expert about Australian boxing, it's NBT. These are his projections. 62% chance that Zerafa wins. 32% chance Horn wins. 6% chance of a draw. Those are his projections from NBT. And by the way, if you're not following them, follow him on Twitter, NBT Boxing. Okay. Look him up. He's not hard to find, okay, on Twitter. He just isn't. All right. But he's also on YouTube. Guys, subscribe to him, by the way. And I kind of agree with this. I do believe more than likely Zerafa's going to win. The problem with Jeff Horn, and you saw it in the Manny Pacquiao fight, he would use his physicality, right? Or like you say, Ashley, like big boy dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he kind of did with Manny. Even though I felt he lost that fight, he made it competitive doing that. And the hell with what I think, the judges gave him the fight.
Right.
So the problem with a guy that has that style is when you're not able to do it. First of all, he was manhandled by Crawford, right? This is a welterweight.
Right.
And I think he saw an easy path to get a title, an easier path to 160 to 154 you know, and I think that's why he's there. Murata obviously was the where Horn wanted to go to get a title shot. I'm not even sure he could win that fight, but he's got to get past, you know, Zerafa, before he could do anything. Um, Zerafa doesn't even have that big of a KO ratio, by the way. He's about 50-50 when it comes to it,
Right.
but he looked like a monster puncher next to Horn, especially as the fight progressed.
Right.
And it's the size, dude. Like, he can't manhandle this guy.
No.
He can't bully him. He's not the big boy in there. You know what I mean? Like Ashley says, so he's not going to be able to do that. So he's definitely an underdog. Now, granted, he did catch it off with a mean left hook, okay, in that first fight, and I think hurts it off, but he needs to catch him with more of those. I need to see something out of Horn that till this day I haven't seen. He's going to have to box a fight, okay? He's going to, stay on the outside and see how it goes. You know what I mean? Pick his spots, land your shots, make the bigger man miss, tire him out, go to the body, and we'll see how it goes, man. You know what I mean? And we will see how it goes. I got Zerafa winning again by late round stoppage. So I'll see around, I don't know, like the 10th round or so. Okay, is what I'll say. If Jeff Horn wins, props to him. That fight, for those wondering, is in about 4 hours. The card starts.
Yeah, right.
We're all going to be asleep, and when you guys wake up in the morning, the fight's already happened. For those listening on archive, the fight's already happened. Okay, just saying. If you're listening on the 18th, it already happened, right? So because the fight's in Australia, and it's practically a day ahead, so. That's that. Do you have any final thoughts on this fight, Ashy?
Nope. Enjoy the fight. Maybe hopefully it's very entertaining. Hopefully somebody will upload it.
Yeah.
So absolutely. We can catch it.
Now let's talk about the Jermell Charlo against Tony Harrison 2 fight, which will be on Fox, by the way. Before we talk about the fight, I mean, what do you think of the significance of it being on Fox's, because we talked about it a couple weeks ago. They're taking like the fights in Showtime,
right?
Like they're showing the rematch. Fox is getting the rematches.
Well, ever since HBO bowed out of the boxing business, man, they kind of left an opening 2, 3, or 4 for other platforms to establish themselves as premier networks in the sport of boxing, and it's no different for Fox. It's not just that boxing are on apps now with ESPN and DAZN, and of course Showtime has been in the background as far as fights, but now Fox is making a presence, and they're making a presence with meaningful fights. This is an anticipated rematch, and they already showcased the pay-per-view earlier this year. They're trying to make a statement. This is not a filling out process. We are here. So I think it's good for boxing, man. I think the fans don't give a damn if it was on fucking BET. They just want to see somebody show the fight. So Fox looks like they're going to be one of the premier networks. It is a great network for sports anyway. So I don't see why, Fox wouldn't take an interest in the sport, a sport that's been trending for years now, and perhaps with their platform and their ability to market whatever, whether it's politics or some product or sports talk, with their platform, they could be able to grow it or take boxing to the next level. So we'll just have to see, because they definitely have the audience.
Right. So shout out to 92 AKU and the Perfection in the house. Okay, I have not seen the face-to-face, but I have seen the clips anyway of the press conference. You know what I mean? It's about as far as I've seen. But Ashley, the first time Harrison pulled the upset, and I thought Jermell Charlo won, but judges thought otherwise.
Yeah, it was close though.
Yeah, it was definitely close. But how do you see this rematch? Do you see it any different than the first fight.
Um, yeah, I do see it different than the first fight. I thought in the first fight that was the best I've ever seen Tony Harrison fight. You know what I'm saying? All the stars were aligned. All the work he did in camp, all the work he got from his sparring partners, it all paid off. And it still, to me, in my opinion, wasn't enough to take the title away from the champion. It was a good enough outing where you could say he made a great account of himself for fighting for a world title, but to me, he didn't do enough to secure the belt away from the champion. But in saying that, it's not like he's a bum. He's fought some solid guys and he's took a couple of L's on the way. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he made the most of his opportunity, and the judges, three sets of eyes, saw him winning that fight. So, and it's not because he just dominated the fight. He had that jab pumping where there was trying to slow Jamel from coming in or catch him off balance when he was resetting. At the end of the day, the flashy punches knocking the champion's head back is what got the attention from the judges at ringside. But in the rematch, it's only because Jamel was headhunting too damn much, trying to knock him out. Throwing all those kill shots. And Jamel, if you've seen this guy coming up, even before he won a world title, he was a classy boxer. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really until he left Ronnie Shields and got with Derrick James when he started trying to just kill something. Every time he's in the ring, he's not moving, he's not getting on his toes. You know what I'm saying? He's just trying to smash guys out of there. And it's a gift and a curse when you fighting in that style, because at the end of the day, whatever you leave on tape, I don't give a damn what you have in your repertoire. Whatever you leave on tape, that's you. That's who you are. So if they're preparing for the guy that they see in the tape, of course, all he got to do is hold his hands up, because you're not throwing too much to the body. And they see that you coming in straight lines with an attack, so they trying to put a jab on you. So they did their homework based on what Jamel was leaving on tape. But there was so much more to Jamel Charlo. He has a wider array of boxing ability, and all he got to do is just be aggressive when he needs to, box when he needs to, counter when he needs to, dictate when he needs to, sit back and, you know what I'm saying, and use Harrison's aggression against him when he needs to. You need to just show him all the different variations to his game, show him levels, and if he goes in there and brings the element of unpredictability into the ring, then he should secure his title back and possibly get the knockout. I think he can do himself a real service just by going downstairs a little bit more, because if Harrison's gonna hold his hands up the whole 12 rounds, you got to make him drop his hands, and there's no better way to make a man drop his hands in the ring unless you touch that body. Same thing that happened in the Cotto fight right before this fight. Cotto wasn't giving him no headshots until Jamel hit him to the body. Once he hit him to the body, all of a sudden shit changed.
Oh, pow! That was devastating knockout.
All over. Yeah. Yeah. So
his nickname was El Demonio, like the demon. Okay, yeah. I think the demon got demonetized. I don't know. But man, I don't think it's going to be a close fight. I think Charlotte's going to win. I think he's going to clearly win this fight.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think Harrison fought the fight of his life.
Yeah.
And I don't feel Jermell Charlo fought his best fight. I just don't.
No.
And I still thought he won.
Me too.
But I respect the decision. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can argue it the other way, but there's no way Charlo goes into this fight like without being more focused. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like this was, to me anyway, and Harrison, I've always said he has a right to prove me wrong. Right. You know what I mean? If he comes out and he wins this fight, like even if it's close, and even if I personally scored it for Charlo, but you could argue it for Harrison, I'll be the first one to say I was wrong, because I just don't think it's going to be that close.
Yeah.
It'll be close for a couple rounds. I think Charlo's going to hurt him. I do believe he'll go to the body, like you said, Ashley, and that straight is vicious, man. It's going to be landing on I think on Harrison this time more often, and Harrison might even go a little defensive and on survival mode. So that's why I think it'll go the distance, the decision. But I'm rolling with Charlo.
Yeah.
I think a minor setback. He's going to do a correction here, and we're going to move on. I think. You think Charlo will stop him?
Yeah. I think he flatlines this guy.
Ooh.
And you know what? You never know. It could go to the distance. You know what I'm saying? I just doubt it. I think in both of the fights that he lost, he was stopped. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Harrison, where it was Willie Nelson and who was the other one? Hurd. Hurd knocked him out, and Willie Nelson. So it's not beyond reality to believe that this guy can be stopped, especially when you're getting hit by Jermell. The way Jermell been punching, man, it's like I don't know too many people that's going to take flush shots like that, especially with him having these highlight reel knockouts. Like I said before, kind of reminds me of when Junior Witter was fighting. Remember Junior Witter from the UK?
Yeah, lost to Bradley.
Yeah, early in his career.
He had it for years too.
Yeah, early in his career, he was just boxing, always switching, righty lefty, but he was a boxer. Then he started punching, sitting down on his shots, and he became fucking vicious in that ring. You know what I'm saying? At least for a good period of time. And that's what Jermell reminded me of. He was a classy boxer early, and now he's just a vicious boxer puncher. But that power be going to a lot of fighters' heads that they're willing to abandon the boxing skills, looking for that power. When you ain't got to look for it when you already got it. Just set it up and let it flow naturally, And this fight, I think that's what's going to happen because Harrison been talking a whole lot of shit since he won. And I'm talking, I ain't going to lie, Jermell the homie, man, but I've been entertained like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Like here's my thing. It kind of like, you remember when Sergio Mora beat the Viper, Brennan Forrest?
Yeah.
And he was just like, he was talking some trash.
There was.
That snake. But Forrest made him pay. Like in the second fight. Yeah, and I remember after the fight, he was talking trash and he said, I'm not going to be a humble winner. Like he wasn't humble with me or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? He wasn't being gracious in victory, so I'm not going to do it either. So it's going to be interesting what happens after this if Charlo wins.
Well, he got to win first, but I don't foresee Mel taking the high road. I think he's about to turn it up, man. I think he's going to turn it all the way up,
Yeah, I think so because, Harrison, and maybe I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to get on the dude's nerves,
Yeah.
Go in there and fight stupid. I think that's what he's trying to do. You know what I mean? And if it works, then shame on Charlo. You know what I mean? But
right.
Like, we will see. Like who knows? I think he's going to be seeing shit in the ring probably.
Mm-hmm.
But man, let me tell you, man. Sometimes it happens. Like you remember Quintana, like unexpectedly, like beat Paul Williams. Like no one saw that coming, and then Williams in the rematch, like boom, just wiped the dude out.
Over. Yeah.
And then it just people forgot about that first fight. Like,
right.
Okay. Well, what now? You know what I mean? So, man, it's going to be interesting, man. I can't wait. This fight will be on Fox. Okay. No Paul Boxiano's in the house. El Foul Player says Estilo D. No Paul Boxiano's, what's good tonight, too? What's going on, guys? Chicana Prophet, I saw it. More of the same. Good stuff, though. The perfection. They simply don't like each other. Charlo has to keep his emotions in check. Absolutely.
Right.
Teresa D says, salute to D-Style and Ashy and to the chat. Right. And BFTB says, salute to the fam. Shout out to Best Fight, the Best Boxing.
Salute.
And, the perfection says, salute to the grave digger. Okay. Y'all beware of the graveyard. Okay. Just saying. I want to get your take on this really because the fights happen. Just give us your take, Ashy, on this last weekend's fights. You know, Me Machine Crawford and Teofimo Lopez Colby. Man, give us your take on those two fights.
Yeah, for one, when we were talking about the Teofimo versus Comey fight, I distinctly said, man, if he can knock Comey out,
Yeah,
boy, what a statement that would be. Man, dude, I did not foresee Teofimo laying this guy out like that. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And I mean, I'm not surprised because Teofimo he got stones in his hands too. You
right.
know, not just Comey. We already know Comey's a big puncher or whatever. He's aggressive. But that youngster, man, he was at home. He was in MSG, and he was not to be denied for his, first world title challenge. He wasn't going to be rerouted down the rankings, back to 11 or anything. He was going to be champion of the IBF, and that's exactly what happened. They both threw a right hand at the same time, and Comey's missed, Teofimo's landed, and that started off the whole process, man. He buckled him bad, man. He tried to act like he wasn't hurt and not go down, but he ended up going down. Comey, and he just basically never fully recovered because the volley of punches would basically take him on out. And, Harvey Dock just waved that thing. It was Harvey Dock officiating that fight, right? I believe. And
I don't recall, but we got a fact check on that. But
Teofimo ended up winning the title, man. He didn't. I mean, Lomachenko was ringside. He really wasn't able to fully assess the fight, and neither could I because we didn't get a whole bunch to look at.
but
It's like it happened all of a sudden, man. Timing, man. He used timing.
Comey had a never play with matches moment, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you guys seen that kind of.
Entertainer.
Yeah. Like he went down, got back up, and went back down. Technically,
Right.
if we want to get technical about it, like maybe the ref didn't see it because from his vantage point, he was telling this Theo to go back to his corner, or maybe just he's a champion, is given the benefit of the doubt. But technically speaking, he could have stopped that fight right there. But it didn't matter in the end. But man, was that a hell? I mean, it was like a duel, right, with a 6-shooter, and Deals got there first. Simple as that. You know what I mean? And maybe the opposite happens if Comey lands and not Theo. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I think it was the loading of the punch, man. He was that moment he took to load the punch and then threw it. Teofimo took advantage of that. You know what I mean? Because Comey did like a bounce, and then throw. And at the bounce right here, like Theo was already throwing that punch. You know what I mean? It was definitely a timing thing. I don't think, and he did his thing, man. Props to him. You like to see him against Lomachenko.
Hey, we're getting it. We're getting it in what, April? Something like that? April, yeah, in April. So
what was
why not? Let's unify the division. Let's see what goes down.
Definitely. Shout out to Big Dog Willie for that $1 super chat. Much appreciated. And much appreciated to BFTB as well. I appreciate the support, guys. What about Crawford? You know what I mean?
That was an entertaining fight, bro.
Yeah?
That was an entertaining fight. I'm not sure if they had the right game plan. Of course, all you heard was Bradley and Andre Ward talking about, he needs to do this, he needs to do that. And they may have some merit with that. But you know what? I could see with Terrence Crawford why he was fighting southpaw the whole time. I don't see why he wasn't, boxing a little bit more. I think the mindset for Crawford was to show the much larger Mean Machine that he wasn't going to big boy him in the ring. You know what I'm saying? That
right.
he's going to stand there right there with him and beat Mean Machine on his own terms. And I thought that was a ballsy strategy, but it takes a skillful and special fighter to execute it, and that's exactly what happened. Now, at the end of the day, like the homie James Toney has said many times in the past, you got to bring ass to get ass. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
as a result, Terrence Crawford was getting touched in this fight when normally he wouldn't be getting hit with these shots. You know what I'm saying?
true.
And he took most of them well, but he did end up hitting the canvas once, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but it was a knockdown. You know, I know that's a hot debate on Twitter right now. In my opinion, that was a knockdown, but it didn't matter because Terrence Crawford must have some supernatural recouping powers because he got right back to work. And you know, it may have taken him a while to decode exactly what Mean Machine was doing because Mean Machine was keeping him straight, and he was trying to use Terrence Crawford aggression against him by coming in. He was throwing straight shots. But the thing about Mean Machine is he kept dropping that left hand, So Crawford was like, "I'm gonna time that left hand. I'm gonna time it with a big ass hook." So he would throw it straight and then come with the hook, or he'll throw it straight to the body and come with the hook. It was always that combination, those two combinations. He was throwing for the bulk of the fight, and for whatever reason, Mean Machine never picked up on it. And eventually, it would find his mark and hurt Mean Machine and end up getting him out of there. He did end up switching back righty for about a round or two or whatever like that.
Get
Um,
better.
he did better, but when he knocked him out, he was southpaw again. So
I think like he just had to do it. I started southpaw and ended shit southpaw, motherfucker.
yeah.
I think that's what it was.
But at the end of the day, he probably could have beat him much easier if he would have just fought him right-handed. You know, and I think Mean Machine did good, knowing. Well, who knows if he even trained for a southpaw? You know what I'm saying?
If you're fighting Crawford, you got to know it's coming both ways. You know what I mean? Like it's you got to be prepared, but it's hard to prepare for Crawford. You know what I mean? What do you do? You got to get southpaw and righty.
And righty sparring, right? It's a lot of range to his game, and bring in some good punchers.
Yep.
You know.
Well, absolutely, man. I want to go ahead and talk about Big Red, and I'm not talking. Okay. I'm not talking about the drink. I'm talking about Canelo, right? Canelo vacates the WBO light heavyweight championship that he won from Sergey Kovalev. It looks like he'll be campaigning at 168 pounds. Ashy, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think anybody could have saw that.
Right.
Of course, when Canelo was asked after he won the title from Kovalev, would he be interested in fighting Beterbiev or Volzik or Bivol? He expressed that he didn't mind, that he'd be glad to fight any of those guys. Well, this move just proved that was a bunch of lip service because him dropping back down to 68 only proves to me that he did not want that smoke, and that he's going to leave the light heavyweight division to the damn light heavyweights. So going to 168 pounds is also a good move. There's a lot of good fights that can be made at that weight. There's a lot of good fights for him there. You got Billy Joe Saunders there, which will probably be the fight that'll be made. You got Benavidez, who just secured a second world title by beating Anthony Durrell. And you also got Caleb Plant, who's the IBF champion, and that's another potential fight for Canelo Alvarez. So the names are there, the fights are there. You got Callum Smith there, who look like food for Canelo. Matter of fact, that'll be the first fight for Canelo. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna go ahead and take him out first, I would think. But you never know, man. You never know with Red. But obviously, he wasn't gonna stay at 75 and fight that beast that just knocked out Volzik. So kudos to Canelo. I mean, he went up to 75, he did his thing, and now he's going to 68 and mix it up there. So we'll see what happens. I think don't be surprised if some 60-pounders go up in weight, like Triple G. Right. Finally going up in weight. Should have been went up in weight, but I think he'll go up and chase Canelo there too. So We'll see.
Absolutely. There's MandatoryDefense.com. Make sure you guys visit the website. Fighter of the week, Teofimo Lopez, after his knockout victory. The stoppage victory over Richard Comey. Looks like he'll be fighting Lomachenko. Speaking of the website, okay, a couple of things to talk about here, Ashy. Recent report coming from, well, me. But I want to thank Joe Habeeb here, and I don't know what the hell's going on with is it sharing? Hold on.
No.
Stop. Okay, my bad. Let me bring this up here. Okay, we're gonna go over some stuff here, but first, let's go over here. Better be his trainer, not surprised. Canelo vacated the WBO light heavyweight title. All right, you guys can check out the article. I just want to go over a couple of things here, really quick. Joe Habeeb did do this interview. I did transcribe it here. So, Marc Ramsay, Arthur Beterbiević's trainer, was interviewed by Joe Habeeb, a ringside reporter, Tuesday afternoon. That was today, and touched bases on some of the big topics surrounding some of his fighters. Okay, so he is, as far as he just talked about the Bostick fight and all that. I do want to get to a couple of things here, right? With the news breaking that Canelo will be vacating the WBO light heavyweight title, Joe Habeeb brought up how on some interviews Canelo mentioned he wasn't concerned about having to fight Beterbiev and that he would welcome the challenge. Joe followed by asking Marc Ramsay if he was surprised by the news and if he believed Canelo would welcome the challenge of fighting Beterbiev. The quote, "I was not surprised because as a coach or as a boxer, when a reporter asks you what you want to show you're confident and say you're ready to fight anybody." But with a slight laugh, said, "The reality is when it comes to making a decision and to see if you really want to fight, don't think so. I don't believe that." He's basically saying that Canelo never wanted that work, Ashley.
Yeah, he knows. He knows what he got in his fighter. Yeah. Canelo's the big money guy, but he knows he has the real killer of the division, and he just wasn't buying it.
Absolutely, you guys should read the rest.
Paying attention fully on what Canelo wanted to do because Canelo was the money guy. So everybody has their eyes on the money guy.
Everybody has their all on the money guy. He did say in that interview as well. Look, Beterbiev's like over 30 years old. He's trying to get him the biggest possible fights. He also said he basically said, man, you guys should check it out, man. He called Bivol. He's just a mechanical fighter. Like he's not impressed with Bivol. He also said he kind of already knew that best days of Kovalev are behind him. I mean, he's basically saying his fighter's the king of that division. And if anybody wants to show him otherwise, by all means. You know what I mean?
Good play.
I don't know who's going to mess with that dude at 175, bro.
Well, I know Bivol expressed interest in possibly unifying, but I think he'll suffer the same fate and possibly faster.
Bivol?
Yeah.
Man. Bivol,
food.
He's gonna get destroyed by a Beterbiev, bro. I don't think Bivol could beat Vozdek, bro.
Vozdek he's a dog. I mean, when I say he went after the probably the most skillful guy there,
yeah,
that's what you got to give Beterbiev his credit, man, because he didn't go after Kovalev. You know what I'm saying? Kovalev was probably the most accomplished, but he wasn't the fighter that he used to be. But you can't take the credit away when he loses. You know what I'm saying? He was still fighting, and he had just won his world. I mean, he had just defended his world title the fight before successfully by knockout. But everybody know Vozdek was that guy. He was the one that damn near put Adonis Stevenson into a vegetative state. So he was dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You know what I mean? He's still dangerous. And I think he beats Bivol, in my opinion. And if people don't believe it, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like Beterbiev is going to be tough to beat, bro. And I'm telling you, if Canelo's camp thought they really could take him, I think they would have done it. Like if they were confident they could take this dude with the aura of dominance he's got. Why wouldn't if you're Canelo? Why wouldn't you do it if you thought you could actually beat this guy? You know,
Yeah.
like, I'm just saying like that.
If they thought, yeah, like you said, if Canelo and his team really thought they could beat Beterbiev or Beterbiev, however you want to say it, they would
Right.
have went after him, and it would have been easy to make because Canelo is a shot caller. He fights whoever the fuck he wants. Everybody wants a piece of him. He's not going around saying, "I want to fight this guy. I want to fight this guy. I want to fight this guy," because he don't have to. Whoever he wants to fight, the fight will be made. Triple G's chasing him. Maul is chasing him.
Yeah.
All the guys within and around his division are chasing him for a reason.
Yeah.
So it's whoever he chooses to fight, it will happen. And the fight did not happen with Beterbiev for a reason. It was a lot of prestige in that fight. It would have been a unification, obviously, you know. But the fight didn't happen is because Beterbiev is a fucking ape. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
too much. You know what I'm saying? It would have been too much for him. It would have been ballsy for him to step to the plate. But he would have had another loss on that record, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Make sure you guys throw a jab at that like button. Make sure that like button turns blue. So you guys can check out that story. You can also check out the interview, the audio version of it at Ringside Reporter. Joe Habeeb does have that. So you guys can go ahead and check that out. Shout out to Joe Habeeb, by the way. Okay. As far as the next topic here. Oh, by the way, he also gave an update about David Lemieux. More likely going to stay at 168 pounds. Okay, just for anybody who wonders about that. Marc Ramsay is also the trainer of Oscar Rivas. Oscar Rivas is fought Dillian White back in. This was back in July 25th, I believe. So I've been covering this intently. Okay, I've been keeping a close eye on it. Recently, some reports came out, Ashy, that was news to me at the time. Turned out to not be true, but that Marc Ramsay himself inspected the fly gloves that White wore and approved them and signed them off, and so the whole controversy was all a bunch of horseshit, apparently, right? So this is why I reached out to Marc Ramsay, okay? And in turn provided some information to Joe so he could get in contact with Marc Ramsay. Joe did the rest, and Joe for the he took the ball and took it all the way for a touchdown. Okay, but as far as this, man, before I want to play a clip of it, but before I do, Ashy, what are your overall thoughts on this whole situation? Just specifically about the gloves. I mean, like just the general facts. Like they did the glove selection meeting. They don't tell anything to Rivas' team. They end up switching the gloves. The original gloves were DiNardo gloves, right? They say an undercard fighter took the gloves. Those were not even DiNardo gloves. Those were Grant gloves. Aziz, the guy in the undercard. So that turned out to not be true. And then they try to wear fly gloves. They only find out because the guy that went to check the hand wrap saw the fly gloves on the table and noticed that those were not the DiNardo gloves from the day prior, right? And then, of course, they did not allow Russ Abner nor Marc Ramsay to properly inspect those gloves. Like they told him too bad, too sad. And in the interview, I mean, it's kind of sad, like in a way, but Marc Ramsay has literally no faith in the system. He said nothing's going to happen. They're not going to do anything about it, but this is what happened. And he said everyone was against us. They did not let us check the gloves. And he actually confirmed something you said a while back, actually. Remember I asked you, why did they do the fight if they weren't able to, check those gloves? And you said, hey, it costs money, like to spar and get ready for a fight. And he did say, hey, look, this was a big money fight for Rivas. This was his big fight. Like he was going to make a lot of money here. So they made the decision, despite that, to file a complaint to the WBC and then move forward, right, with the fight. And for the record, Ramsey does say he doesn't have a problem with the brand fly gloves. Okay. It's not the brand of the glove. It's just the fact, it's the protocol and the fact that they did not allow him nor or Russ Abner to check the gloves. What are your overall thoughts about that?
Excuse me. I think it's just a lack of professionalism, a lack of respect for the sport, lack of respect for the mere fact that you have two combatants in there that are looking to punch each other in the head, and fighters have succumbed from their injuries in this sport. So it's another blackout for the sport. Um, but when there's no oversight, something that John McCain, when he was alive, rest in peace, was trying, if I'm not mistaken, was trying to get a board, a national board for the sport of boxing because of the lack of oversight. Things like this happen all over the globe. They can't keep up with it all the time, and for the people that are directly involved, some people let stuff pass because of lack of knowledge. They don't know what they're supposed to do back there. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what to look for. They don't know proper protocol. And for those that do know, and they're looking for a way to bend the try to get the fight more in their favor, they do shit like this. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate, man. As far as I know, no fines were handed out, no B sample, and even though we're not talking about drug testing, it all goes hand in hand when you look at the underhand and shady dealings going on behind the scenes. Um, and I think it's unfortunate because a trainer or whoever represents Team Rivas should have been able to inspect the gloves that the opponent, or in this case, Rivas was the opponent, um, should have been able to expect the gloves that Dillian White was going to wear on the night of the fight in the ring before the fight happened. Period. You know what I'm saying? In order to keep it fair and on the up and up, where everybody involved is all clear, and it's just, man, I don't know, man. It's just unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? And he was right when you read the interview, man. Nobody gives a fuck, man. The media easily, and I mean, they dropped the ball so many times on stuff like this. Whether it's they appear to they're iffy. For some fighters, they go all in for them when it comes to stuff like this. In other situations, they're like, oh, fake news. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can bring up the Tyson Fury incident with the training with the sparring partner saying that it was padding removed from Tyson Fury's gloves in training camp. You know what I'm saying? And nothing happened. Nothing ever came of that. They didn't inquire about it. They didn't do any interviews. They didn't take the speculation a bit further to see if they can derive some facts from it. The boxing media drops the ball consistently on these things. Everybody turns a blind eye, and if it's a fight fans' favorite fighter or a popular fighter, it only it only gets worse. You know what I'm saying? And it's a microcosm of what we're facing right now in the country too. So if you want to be on the same team with the guy, you just overlook the deeds that they do behind your back, even though it's to your detriment. You just kind of let it go. It's just a shame, man. It's unfortunate. D style.
Oh, my bad, my bad, my bad. I was talking like for a good minute there. But just really quick before I play, I want to play this clip here. But um, I reached out to Marc Ramsay. Marc Ramsay did respond to me. This is official statement. However, you know how it is, Ashley, right? In the year 2019, with alleged, like you never know who's reporting the damn truth nowadays. You know what I mean? So if I just put out this statement, even though I have the proof that it was from Marc Ramsay, right? I could provide that. But I couldn't do that without providing his personal information, right? So nowadays, you have to get the audio. You have to have that proof. So not only did I get the statement, not only did I have the proof that I reached out to him, Joe Habeeb with a home run. So let's just go ahead and play, this interview. Let's let people hear it, and we'll go from there. If you don't mind, Ash.
No, not at all.
So much controversy swirling around that fight with the drug test, with the gloves. Could you just, if you would, explain all of this controversy in your own words, from your vantage point? What went on that night with all of the supposed controversies surrounding that fight?
It was something very special, but at the end of the day, the conclusion of all this, I was not surprised at all. When I came back to Montreal, I told the media, all the media was asking us what's going to happen, and I told them nothing's going to happen. And they're asking me why I have that type of explanation. I told them, listen, the history of boxing proved to us, to be honest, I don't believe people of boxing, the promoter, the sanction bodies, even the fans and the reporter also, they don't care. To be honest, they don't care. And Canelo Alvarez is a good example of this. He gets tapped. Now they're changing rules for him. People still buy pay-per-view. The reporters forget about this history, but he's a cheater. The same thing with Joe Sanders, Billy Joe Sanders, and why that was the second time. To be honest, I don't really believe that people cares about those things. And in this case, nothing happened. They hire us the information about the testing. We never had any information about the B sample, we don't even have information about the A sample, what it is, the substance and everything. It's a little bit. It was a little bit. And the WBC, I don't know what they're doing, but they don't have, for sure, they don't protect the interest of the fighter. They don't push to see to have the truth on that story. We don't have any support from nobody in that history. The second thing, it was the gloves situation. The glove situation was after a weigh-in, you have what we call a glove selection, and both cam have to go there, select the glove, and the other cam have the right to look at the brand, and also if the padding is okay, if everything is fine, we sign the glove and make sure that this is the glove they're going to give you in the dressing room the day after. And for 30 years in boxing, and this is always the way everywhere around the world they're doing stuff. On the night of the fight, and we did this glove selection, we select a brand from Italia, and the night of the fight, the guys who was from my team in the dressing room of White came back to my dressing room and told me they want to use another pair of gloves, and I never see that of my life. And we went there to see what happened, and the thing was, again, the supervisor from WBC support them, and also the UK Commission support them. They authorize them to do that move, and I never see that of my life. And at one point, the new brand was Fly. This is a brand from the UK. This is not the problem, because we know that brand. It's a good glove. It's a legal glove. This is not the point. The point is what we do as a protocol usually was not respect. And what is that not respect was authorized by the WBC supervisor and also by the commission over there.
I got you. So, at no point in time were you going to approve, or you weren't in line with him using those gloves that he used on fight night. You didn't approve of that at all, correct?
No, no. But what we did at one point, when I saw that even the commission want to support white clan, and also the WBC, the supervisor, you look at us and say that this is like this here. Like you see that you don't have the support of nobody. And like I told you, I know the new glove. I know fly glove are right. That's not the point. The point is the protocol that we, like WBC, just don't even respect their own protocol. And that,
so you were just. I don't mean to.
I have the option.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't mean to interrupt you. So you just were upset because protocol wasn't being followed. Is that your position on this?
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't care about the other set of gloves because the mark is, the brand is okay. Like it's a brand that we know. It's a good brand. Like, this is not the problem. The problem is in 30 years of boxing, I've never said I see this before.
Because I know Russ Amber spoke about it, and he said that you guys weren't allowed to inspect the new gloves once they were chosen.
Oh yeah.
Is that correct?
Oh yeah. Yes, they bring to us. They bring another pair of gloves. They don't even let us take the glove of White because he already had his glove on his hands. What they did, they give us the backup glove and they make us to look at it.
Oh wow! So neither yourself or Russ Amber were able to inspect those new gloves that he wore on the fight. On fight night.
Yeah, Russ was able to look at the glove on the hand, not really fully inspect because the glove was already in the hand of the White.
Oh, so basically, he was already wrapped up, and the gloves were already on his hands, and Russ could even inspect the wraps. Is that what happened?
Exactly.
Wow, that's crazy. I've never seen that. And then
now I have the choice to just cancel the fight, and you have to understand that was the first money fight of Rivas ever, or just go. And the fact that was a mark that we know. There was not the problem. The problem was that the protocol was not respected.
Well, there's been other fights too where the opposing camp would go into a fighter's dressing room and the guy would be gloved up already, and they would make a protest right then and there, and then the guy would have to unglove and they would have to rewrap. That I've seen that happen on certain occasions. But obviously you didn't have the luxury of doing that because you guys weren't the house fighter. So it was either fight or not fight. And I totally understand your position on that. I mean, there was not much you could do in that situation.
Especially when you don't have the support from the supervisor and from the commission. Like you have both body sanction who just tell you, no, this is normal, this is the way it is. Now you have the choice, like you send your fighter or not.
Wow.
All right, well there it is. That is the interview. What are your thoughts, Ashley, from what you just heard? Like I know you read it, but to hear it, you know what I mean?
Sounds like a trainer fed up, man. And it sounds like a little bit more than boxing politics, man. It sounds like there is a fundamental problem in the sport of boxing. It needs to get corrected, man, because when you take into account that we're talking about the fighter's health, a lot more accountability needs to be brought to the forefront in instances like these. You know what I'm saying? Just because a fighter is a money guy or the commission or the state stands to make a lot of money off an event, it doesn't, it shouldn't allow for these guys to drop the ball in situations like this. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like even if you raise a stink about it or others lobby on your behalf, it's like I said, I made a comment about politics. It's pretty much the same thing. Those who don't have the money, voices aren't loud enough. Whoever has the money has the the voice of the people who can make a change in these situations. So
now the one thing, like I found a lot, guys. I found a lot of Ramsay had already said a lot of these things before, but it was print. You know what I mean? Now, I had no reason to doubt the print, but what good was it if I got the same exact story that's already out there? Like, we have to get them on audio to say it, just to put that to rest. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, Marc Ramsay did not inspect the gloves, okay, the night of the fight. Okay. Like, at most, he said, I was okay with the brand. With that type of glove, I don't have an issue with fly glove. You know what I mean? But I'm sure he doesn't have an issue with Everlast either. But if, they had Everlast in the table instead of, the gloves the day before, there would still be an issue.
Right.
Because the issue is the protocol, and we all know what he's talking about. And the one clear thing, actually, that he always starts with is, he says it over and over again. He said it in the statement to me. He said it in the audio. As you know, right? Like, in other words, it's common sense. Like, everyone that knows boxing should already know all this. As you know, the glove selection is done after the weigh-in, right? The day before the fight. And both camps get to look at the gloves and, to make sure all that is there's no controversy surrounding that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it just, and it is sad, like, hearing them. Like, I'll be honest with you, it was kind of disheartening to hear them talk about how, like, they had no choice. You know what I mean? Like, either they go home broke, or they fight.
Right. Must go on. Yep.
And he's like, nobody cares, he says. Dude said nobody gives a shit. The dude said the commissions don't care, the promoters don't care, the media doesn't care. He even said the fans don't care. Okay? He said the fans will forget. You know what I mean? A couple fights down the line, ain't nobody going to be talking about it. So that's how he feels. You know what I mean? And that's just the reality of that. You guys can check out that, read that at mandatorydefense.com. By the way, those listening, go to mandatorydefense.com, bro, and just check out the story, share the story, tweet out the story, help us put it out there. Okay? Do everything you can. Do a video about it. Do some. Okay? Put that out there, and that's that. Okay? You have any final thoughts on this one right here, Ashley?
No, man, it's another blackout for boxing, man. But it also gives a lot of the other trainers out there something to look at, just in case some shit like that happens for a fight that they're about to send their fighter out to go do.
Right. Well, we're not done with the black guys. Like,
oh, no, sir. No, sir.
We ain't done. Okay. This fight's still going on. It's not the fight I have an issue with, Ashy. Okay? And by the way, I wonder what people in the chat think, by the way. It got kind of heavy. Chicana Profit. Only Sky box office before the fight. You see White pissed off about his gloves going missing. On Sky box office before the fight, you see White pissed off about his glove going missing. But the problem is that there was two pairs of gloves. There's two pairs of gloves, right? So where's the other pair? But I don't want to dive too much into that. With that said, at the end of the day, they should have just let Rivas' camp check the glove. Okay? Just let him check the glove. And by the way, that matches the story of Russ Abner, which is on IFL TV, by the way. Okay? It matches the story, and Russ Abner's the one that checks the gloves. You even heard him. Russ Abner was not able to check the gloves. He said just like this. Can you, from what do you know, Ashley, can you properly check gloves if the guy has the gloves on?
No, they need to be off. You need to be able to fully and thoroughly inspect the gloves.
Right.
Especially if you're trying to check for missing padding and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure, man. Let's just check out Joe Lopez 40 ounce, bro. Out of everything he can say, look at the acne on Chavez. That's a lot of acne, bro. You tell me you couldn't touch the dude up with some like holy shit, bro. Look at all that acne, bro. And look, it doesn't mean everything, but we know what acne means sometimes.
That's what I was just thinking about. So
it's like they're throwing it in our face or something. I have him have the acne on. You know what I mean? Come on, bro. What's going on over here? But he's going to be fighting Jacobs. Dude, a judge basically gave him the go. Dude,
Yeah.
for all that don't know, Chavez Jr. skipped the test, guys. He refused to take a test. Have you seen that meme, bro? Like, you can't fail the test if you don't take it. Have you seen that meme?
Not at all. I'm gonna look for it now, though.
I'll put it up. But what are your thoughts, Ashley, on this judge?
Well, that's what you have a team for. You know what I'm saying? I guess Chavez Jr. was smart and had his lawyer look into the situation, and it looked like the commission made a decision based on not having all the information necessary, and they found the loophole, and Chavez's lawyer did his job. You know what I'm saying? What can I say? I already know Chavez is up to no good. Oh yeah, that one. Okay. Yeah, I already know Chavez is up to no good. You know what I'm saying? He's proved it time and time again, but they keep allowing him to do stuff like that. So,
Dude.
hell,
This dude flat out didn't take the test, and he still is getting rewarded with a fight.
they'll get in a fight. So,
What?
the show must go on, man. That's boxing.
And again, like you said, this is a boxing problem. This is not like a country. Because this happened in the U.S.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just crazy, bro. I can't believe it, to be honest with you.
I can. Not really much surprises me anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Man, this is crazy, though. This is like a whole nother level crazy. Like, I can't believe that this dude's got to go. Like, you know what I mean? Like this, he flat out refused to take the test. Right? But what do you think about the fight, though? You think it's gonna matter?
It could, because at the end of the day, Danny Jacobs is not a 168 pounder yet. He's going up. He's moved up in weight, and you don't know how he'll do against a substantially bigger guy on his first outing. Chavez has fought at 175 pounds before. He's a big boy, and I've seen him in person. He's big and fucking tall. So, but skill for skill, there is nothing Chavez can do in terms of trying to outbox Danny Jacobs. I mean, he don't have the skill set to outbox him. But at the end of the day, man, every time you have a boxer in the ring versus a guy who uses brute force, it don't mean the boxer automatically wins. So shit can happen, man. Punches get through. You can't block them all, can't evade them all, and punches hurt. So there is a possibility that Chavez can win this fight.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
We'll just have to see. And Chavez is a tough guy. He may not be the most skilled, but he ain't no punk. You know what I'm saying? He could take some shots.
He can.
So
I agree. He's gonna come to fight. Like, we know that. You know what I mean? Like, we could always we know how the dude's not gonna prepare, but you can't take away the fact that he on fight night the dude fights. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Or at least he tries anyway. You know what I mean? But last topic, Ashley, what are your thoughts on AJ offering his services to Tyson Fury to prepare for a fight with Deontay Wilder, a heavyweight champion, wanting to be a sparring partner? This is where we are.
Shit, I don't believe a fucking single word. I think it was all publicity, all to get a reaction. A unified heavyweight champion is not going to all of a sudden get minimized as a sparring partner and give Tyson Fury an opportunity to get looks on him in a fight that could happen in the future if Fury beats Wilder.
Right.
So it's said in order to get under Wilder's skin. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But AJ is not going into no Camp Fury as a sparring partner. It's bullocks, like they say in the UK.
Yeah, that word's weak. They have weak words over there, bro. It's bullshit. Okay,
Yeah.
like bollocks and bloody, and like, it's just like what's going on over here? But I will say though, I agree with you. It's all bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what a bunch of horse shit. Well, what is this, huh? Apollo Creed and like in the movie, working with Rocky Balboa. All right, are Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua is Joshua and Furioso, are they gonna be running in the beach, bro, with the little short shorts like Apollo Creed? Okay, like Apollo Creed and Rocky Balboa, and then when he like they're gonna hug in slow motion and shit in the beach. Is that what's going on over here? Maybe they're gonna do that shit, but I don't believe this bullshit that Anthony Joshua is gonna become a sparring partner for fucking Tyson Fury. Right? What a bunch of horse shit. Plus, if you're gonna end up like this is why, right? Why Ashley says why would he reduce himself to that? Like, you really think this is gonna go spar Fury, and then if Fury beats Wilder, like he's already allowed Fury to test him out in the ring?
Right. And look on him, right?
Are you guys crazy? The champions work with some up and comers and stuff like that. Guys that still have a lot to learn and shit like that. You know what I mean? That's why, Wilder was working with Hay and Vladimir Klitschko when he was on the come up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, but that was years ago. You know what I mean?
Pay dividends.
Look what's going on over here.
Right.
Is Tyson Fury in a dark, gym somewhere? And fucking AJ showing up, talking about we gotta win the title back together. Is that what's going on over here?
Yeah, some bullshit, man.
What are we doing? We're gonna win the title back together. Like, get the fuck out of here. All right? Like, what are we doing? But I don't know. Well, what would you do if it does happen?
It ain't. Not even worried about it.
Zip this topic, boom, put it in the body, zip it up. It's a wrap. Okay. That shit ain't happening. Okay. But I'll tell you what though, they got the attention of a lot of people, right? That I will say, right? Quick reminder, 23rd of December, final year awards. That's gonna be my show. Make sure you guys tune in for that. All right. Tomorrow, Mexican Latino Wednesday with G-Funk. Don't miss it, Baby Nuts. Okay, Baby Nuts of the Week. I can't wait to find out what Baby Nuts of the Week is with Ruben Guerrero, although it's not Ruben Guerrero either way. But with that said, Ash, I want to thank you once again for joining me on another great show. Make sure you guys visit, all right? It's right under there, MandatoryDefense.com. And follow Ashy at A Puncher's Chance on Twitter. Follow me at DStyleBoxing. Go to Mandatory Defense. Share the stories. Let's get it out there. All right. With that said, Ashy, final word.
Enjoy the fights this weekend, man. With Charlo and Harrison, and I think the return of Andre Durrell, but he'll be on the non-televised portion. It's a couple of prospects that'll be fighting on that card too. And y'all be safe heading into the holidays, man.
Absolutely, man. You guys stay safe and happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, the whole nine, whatever you celebrate, okay? Winter solstice for you atheists out there, whatever, okay? Just enjoy your time. This is DStyleBoxing. Keep it boxing. We're out. Peace.